Happy New Year. I am wanting to chat today about, focus, where we put our focus. Um, so, it's obviously it's 2021 and 2020 was a eye-opening year to say the least. There was a lot of loss, a lot of pain, a lot of growth for some people, a lot of transformation. But it was very eye-opening. And I've seen a lot of memes go around. I've seen a lot of memes go around about 2020 and how people want to throw 2020 in the trash and how 2020 couldn't get worse. But the truth is, for some people, 2020 was a growth year. For most people, probably 2020 was a growth year. Even in spite of the circumstances, even with the loss. And, I think that part of that is about focus, where we put our focus. Many people think that, how you create is based on the past, but really it's based on where you put your focus. Julie, I'm going to bring you up. It's the first time I'm doing this, because we have a conversation. We have this conversation now. I'm about to bring up wellness coach Julia. We've never, and I think it would be a very cool thing to just have a conversation with someone that I've never met about focus. What's going on,
Hello.
coach? This is fun. I've actually never done this before.
Me neither, actually. This is so much fun.
So I'm talking about focus, and I think this would be a great conversation to have with you. First of all, tell me who you are, because we actually have never met. We're connected.
No, we
And
haven't.
clearly, this is a good time to introduce yourself.
Well, I watched your interview with Nick yesterday, and I just loved your responses and how you were like reflecting back to her, and it was just so interesting. But yeah, I'm a health coach. I work with businesses, but also I've recently started a business in skincare. And I'm planning my wedding in the midst of COVID. So
Wow.
I do need to focus a lot because I'm getting married in 4 months.
Wow,
So
congratulations.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Now, where are you located?
I'm in Brighton, the UK.
I love that. Oh, we are international today. Well, let's talk a little bit about focus. And you're a wellness coach, so you know a little bit about this as well. I think so. One of the things about me I was sharing with the folk is that I am also a practitioner and trainer of neurolinguistic programming and hypnosis. That's one of my passions. And so I train other people, other coaches, doctors, medical professionals, and how to utilize the unconscious mind, the technology of the unconscious mind, to really be laser focused and be able to really create what they want in their lives. And so, we know that how you create is all about where you put your focus, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that a lot of times we tend to have our focus on the rear view mirror. And then we act based on that. We act based on the past. We act based on what has happened in 2020. We act based on all of these fears that are determined by things that have happened in the past. And while we can acknowledge our emotions, we can acknowledge our fears, we can acknowledge the past for what it was, and even what it has contributed to us, because make no mistake, our lives have contributed to who we are. Focusing on the future is where the creation is.
Yeah, absolutely. I think fear is such a distractor as well. In the past year, I think a lot of people, probably including myself, feel really paralyzed by fear. And
Mhm.
I've really had to set boundaries in place to say, I don't want to know anything about COVID deaths. I want to
Mhm.
feed my mind with the future. I don't need to know how many people have died. We
Mhm.
have also been personally affected,
Yes.
but I can't, that's hurtful, but you can't dwell on what's happening. You need to also think about the future. There is a
Yeah,
future beyond fear.
absolutely. And I think, you know, for people, I'm you've been personally affected, and our heart goes out to you, and my love and prayers go out to you. Um, it's, I think when we are personally affected, for those of who are out there who have lost people personally, and I have been fortunate enough to not lose anyone in my immediate circle. I have lost people that I have been in my extended circle, but not in my immediate circle, not in my family. And but I think when we lose people like that, when we are personally affected, or even if we haven't lost people, but we've personally been affected with the virus itself, it's powerful to then take the learnings about who we are as people, our strengths, our capacity to heal, our capacities, take learnings from people we've lost and maybe how they have contributed to us, and celebrate that. And it helps us to come to terms with and to focus on the future, knowing that we're honoring people in the past, right? We can honor things, but not get stuck there, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. So what's your focus this year?
Well, my focus is getting out there to train as many people in this technology as possible, because I've done this work for 7 years, NLP hypnosis, and when I was in clinical practice, when I was in medical practice, I did it with my patients. It was amazing.
Mm,
Um, and I really want to produce more people who are doing this type of work, because I believe that healing at the unconscious level is so important for us to be able to create freely and to impact the next generation. I don't know if you have children, but I have a son. He's 6 years old. This is like prime learning time, prime absorption time, the first 10 years of life. For those of you who um, have kids who are under 10, this is the sponge time.
yeah.
And I am super committed to um, making sure that he knows who he is as a king, as a young king in training, like as a prince.
Yeah,
And yeah,
that's
and
amazing. Children
yeah,
don't learn from what you say, they learn from what you do and your
absolutely.
behavior.
Hmm. Hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. So I want to empower parents. I want to empower, like, and want is I'm gonna say want is not sufficient for what I'm doing, because I am, right? This is like the commitment of empowering parents, empowering entrepreneurs, empowering, and particularly people of color, because look, this has been a hard year for us, right? 2020 has been. And what I see possible in that is the opportunity for a new conversation, the opportunity for healing, the opportunity for expansion, the opportunity for growth in our communities. But that only comes with deep work. It comes with deep work. And that's something that I don't think our community has been fully exposed to, that deep
Yeah.
work.
We've been put in a situation where we're forced to choose either fear or growth.
Hmm.
So you could either stay stuck in fear and stop yourself because you think the world is going to end and there's nothing you can do.
Hmm.
So in kind of like a fixed mindset, or you can
Right,
go into the growth mindset and
right.
actually see it as an opportunity to learn about yourself and build
Hmm.
resilience and
Yes,
learn new skills about yourself. So
yes.
two options.
Yeah. And really, I mean, two options, but really infinite options. But I think that we have been forced into, how can I say? There was a time when we were forced into fear, and that fear got so deeply ingrained at the unconscious level that we passed it on from generation to generation to generation. And we don't even realize it as a culture, but we're now choosing fear. And it's a hard pill to swallow when you think of like, am I really choosing fear? But look at all the stuff that's going on out there, right? They're still doing this to us. And granted, there's still stuff being done. I mean, like every day I read about something, and I try to limit. I like to know what's going on in the world, but I also need to limit my exposure because it is important that we be responsible for feeding our minds, right? Like I'm not
Yeah.
going to continually be digesting traumatic events that are happening in our society, to our culture, people, right? And yet there's an aspect of it in which we can choose to step into a new conversation about who we are and our capacity for power and for unity and for unification, and for expression. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. Sorry, it was a bit blurry there, and maybe it's the connection from the UK to, I don't know where you are.
Yeah, I'm in Atlanta actually.
Atlanta, okay.
I
I've not
know.
been there before, but my fiance has been there before. He loves
Yeah.
it.
By the way, it's so cool that just on the fly we're having this transatlantic conversation, right?
I love it, yes. And
We would,
thank you for bringing me in. I think it's such a relevant topic, focus, and as you say, where your energy flow goes, where your focus goes, energy flows, right? And if you want to think about things that are scary or fearful, you only need to turn on the news. And also, our brain is wired to look for, we are wired to look for the dangerous because
yeah,
that's from the hunter and gatherer times. Your brain
absolutely.
is scanning your environment to
Yeah.
look if there is a dangerous animal. So it takes real challenge not to look for the negative, and you have to force yourself to actually look for the positive in everything.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we have to just be like fake positive, because that's not healthy either.
No. Yeah, no, I think it is doing that deep work that we have to do that gets us to a space of peace so that we can see opportunities rather than always seeing deficits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been I'm home with my son. I don't know what the situation is with UK, but we've been virtual schooling for since March, and that
Wow.
hasn't stopped. So my son is home with me, and I wanted to just pop on quickly and bring a quick message and a happy new year. And this was so unexpected to be able to have this chat with you, and so I hope that we can connect offline and have more
We
conversations.
will, yes.
Because for those of you who don't know, I have a current podcast called Next Level Physicians Thriving Outside the Box, but I'm starting a new podcast called The Mind Remapping Nation soon, and it would be wonderful to continue this conversation on a podcast episode with you.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yeah. So if you would shoot me a message and let's get that conversation started. And, thank you for just coming on and having this conversation with me. I just look forward to more. And that just, I think today it's interesting because, 2021, it's a new year, it's new opportunities. And I said at the end of last year, I said, what I'm definitely gonna be collaborating more in 2021. I stepped it up in 2020, but I'm stepping it up even more in 2021. And you guys got to know who are following, those who will listen on the replay, because I am gonna save this for IGTV. You got to know that sometimes you just have to be a yes, because look, I could have easily declined your offer to come up. But when I saw it, I just thought to myself, why not? Yes, let's have a conversation,
Why
because
not?
I got something out of it, and I got a new connection. And I'm sure that the people watching have gotten something out of it. And I just think that sometimes we have to be a yes, and that's part of the creation, is being willing to not only to see the opportunities, because they're all around us, right? But
And
to,
that's what we need the most right now, to connect
yes,
with people.
yes.
And that's where the internet is a blessing in disguise as well.
Yeah, yeah. So, we need to be able to recognize the opportunities, but we also need to be able to say yes to the opportunities as well when we recognize that they are opportunities. I think a lot of times we just see them as intrusions, but these are opportunities. They're always opportunities for us.
They really are. Well, so lovely to meet you. I'm off to an online dance class now. Um,
Oh,
all
fun.
the best with your homeschooling, and let's continue to connect.
All right, look forward to it.
Take care.
Bye. Take
Bye.
care. Well, so that was an unexpected surprise and delight to be able to chat. Um, you know, that was the first time I've ever done that, brought someone up on IG Live like that. And that I did it with someone that I didn't even know. Who would have thought? Um, but I do want to reemphasize that where you put your focus is what you will produce in life, what you will create. And so, where are you going to put your focus for 2021? We have a blank slate. We have a blank slate in front of us for 2021. And it is important that you take control of the pen and put that pen to paper and begin to write the story in the way that you're designing it, not on something that's predicated by circumstance or predicated by past experience, not on something that is, based on the past, but really create based on what you visualize as your commitment. What is your vision? What do you want to create? And I'm not talking about necessarily New Year's resolutions, because resolutions are dead and we could talk about that too, but on another time, why resolutions don't work, right? Resolutions don't work because they're just, how do you call them? They're wishes, and wishes without action and wishes without structure produce no results. So I invite you to comment. How are you creating 2021? Where are you putting your focus to create a powerful 2021? And comment for me and let me know. And I'm going to do a series of lives over the next couple of weeks that talks about this, where we're putting our focus and trying versus doing, and the value of community and personal development versus self-help. Because I think it's important as we go into 2021 to have new structures for us to put those visions into so that they are manifested. And that's what we're talking about. How are we manifesting? All right. If you guys are want to know more about what I do as a trainer, if you want to join our upcoming training, if you're interested in neurolinguistic programming and hypnosis, you want to get trained, go hit me up in Messenger. You can message me, or you can go to mindremappingacademy.com, links in the bio, and apply. Send me a little message and we can chat about this upcoming training. Training starts January the 19th, and registration closes January 15th. So if you think that you're interested in getting trained in NLP and hypnosis, if you think that you want to know more about these upcoming trainings, go ahead and hit me up. Have a great rest of the day. I'm going to go eat lunch with my son now.